What's up, guys? Brian here with the domain. And guys, 2020 has been a crazy year with just so much going on and in the world. But the plus side is the silver lining, if you will, is that there was a lot of great games that was released this year in 2020. And I'm going to be going through my top 10 games of 2020. So, stick around and see, maybe we can compare notes and you can see what games on my list that you agree with, you don't agree with. Just let me know, and let me know in the comment section below what games you think deserve to be on this list and what games did not make this list that you were surprised by. Now, I tell you what, there's a lot of games that came out that I didn't get my hands on, like Spider-Man Miles Morales, for instance. I haven't played that yet. There were some games that a lot of people liked that I didn't care for that also didn't make this list. But all in all, with that being said, I'm very thrilled to have this top 10 list, and this is going to be an annual video that I do this time of year that's going to come out on the last day of the year every year. So looking forward to that. And also there's going to be some great games that I'm looking forward to next year as well. And I'm probably going to do a video about that in a couple of weeks, talking about the games that I'm looking forward to that are coming out in 2021. Also, if you like this channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know when we have new videos here on the domain. We got a lot of big things in store for this channel coming up. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for helping us get to over 150 subscribers here. I'm going to take these little victories as they come. We're hoping to get to 200 subscribers, and hopefully by this time next year, we'll have 1,000 subs, which would be amazing. Anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into this list. There's 10 great games here that I've thoroughly enjoyed for multiple reasons, and you're going to find out for each and every one. So here it is, my top 10 games of 2020. Number 10, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is a game that, it's real simple. All you have to do is just rip and tear demons for several hours. And this game is such a phenomenal game. id Software did, once again, a fantastic job of making a game look just so incredibly beautiful, but at the same time incredibly full of blood and guts, and I absolutely love it. And this game did come out back in March, and the thing about it is that they did so much. They upgraded the game to where now you can unlock certain pieces of armor for the Doom guy. There's you're in the ship now, and which is fantastic. There's different things to unlock going around the ship, and then even recently, back in October, they released a standalone campaign DLC titled The Ancient Gods Part 1, which takes place right after the events of the main campaign. If you're looking for a game to really just take out your frustrations and stress, this is that game for you, and it absolutely deserves a place on, in my opinion, any top 10 video game list of games that came out this year. Once again, I can't say enough about this game. It's such a beautifully destructive looking game. It did receive 5 nominations at the Game Awards this year as well, including Game of the Year. So there's that. It was up there with all these other games, and but this game absolutely is worthy of a playthrough. And you know what? Even if you didn't play the original Doom from 2016, this is absolutely worth a pickup. Go check it out. Doom Eternal, such an awesome game. And a game they got to play on the Nintendo Switch as well, which is even better. So for those who want to play portably, you can do that as well. Number 9, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Ah, yes. Animal Crossing New Horizons. What an incredible game. Nintendo does it again by giving gamers a game, I mean, at the right place, at the right time. Well, not necessarily the right place, but at the right time, essentially. This game came out at a time when the world needed a game like this. And this is literally when the pandemic and lockdown was starting, and people couldn't go anywhere, really do much of anything. And, you know, oddly enough, this game came out right towards the end of March of this year. Animal Crossing New Horizons is a great game. It's very chill, very relaxing type of game. And one that I spent many hours just chopping down trees, building my houses, and making sure I pay off those dang raccoons. But it's also a great game to play with others online as well. So at a time when we really didn't have the ability to interact with our friends or our loved ones face-to-face, this gave us that ability. And it was a great game for that. Brought a lot of gamers together like really no other game had at this point. But nonetheless, Nintendo does it again. Brought out a game at the right time. And really, this game is the reason why a lot of Nintendo Switches were extremely hard to find. Number 8, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake. Oh man, a game that just instantly brings back fond memories and puts a smile on my face. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake is the remake that I didn't really ever know that I needed until it came out. I mean, first off, the music. The music in this game alone is just amazing. And unfortunately, because of copyright purposes, thanks to the MCA and, of course, YouTube, I can't play that music here for you. But, I mean, you have bands like Rage Against the Machine, many others. This game just, man, what a amazing soundtrack. And not only do you get just the first game remastered and you get to play that amazing and iconic warehouse level, but you also get the second game completely remastered and remade as well. So you get 2 games for not even the full price of one game, and you get 2 great video game soundtracks. Now, granted, this is a remaster, and I had a hard time deciding if remasters should make this list. You know what? I couldn't help it. This game alone I could listen to over and over and over again and play over and over again just because of the soundtrack alone. And man, what a fun skateboarding game. Not only that, but you can also play this game online with your friends. You can once again make custom skate parks just like you could before. And the gameplay is just amazing. Everything just about this game looks and feels right when playing. And it absolutely deserves to be on my top 10 list for sure. And probably my favorite sports game of the entire year. Number 7, Persona 5 Royal. That's right, we get, again, Persona 5. And Persona 5 Royal is such a vast improvement over the regular Persona 5 game. And once again, both games, great. But this game, you know, it didn't feel like Persona 5. I mean, it wasn't the same. There's so much more added dialogue, more features. There's other characters even that you can play as in this as well. And I would say roughly between 150 and 180 hours of gameplay. Not only that, but just like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, this game has a phenomenal soundtrack. I cannot say enough about the soundtrack in Persona 5. And there's some new music in Persona 5 Royal as well. This is absolutely, if you're going to go pick up Persona 5, this is the version that you need to go and pick up. It is absolutely worth it. And I think even right now it's at a cheaper price because it's been out for a while. This game also had a Steelbook edition that you could purchase with it. Get a nice little steelbook included. All in all, this is just the epitome of an open world, massive adventure, and it's just great. And it's a game that I'm still not even done with yet. There's just so much to do, and at times, yeah, it can be a little bit overwhelming because there's just so much content, especially compared to just the base Persona 5 game. But in Persona 5 Royal, there's so much more. There's layers upon layers upon layers of new content, new dialogue. There's, as I mentioned before, new characters to play as, and even a new dungeon to go through as well in this game. There's just so much. And once again, if I were a person to recommend what version of this game to get, you have to get Royal. There's just no, in my opinion, there's no real reason to go pick up just regular base Persona 5 when you have this version of the game that's going to give you the entire story of just Persona 5 and then some. So, God, this game is so great, and honestly was one of my favorite games when the regular version came out several years back. And once again, it's been brought. Atlas has done a great job of bringing this game back to the surface and adding a ton more content to this game. And maybe we'll see this game come out for other consoles as well. You know, it'd be kind of cool to get a Switch version of this game at some point, make it portable maybe in 2021. Atlas, if you're listening, that would be pretty fantastic. Anyway, Persona 5 Royale, definitely check it out. Go get it. Persona 5 Royale is a great, great game. Go and get it if you haven't played it already. Number 6, Super Mario Bros. 35. Of all games I've yet to see make anybody's list, at least the list that I've seen, I'm thoroughly surprised I have not seen a single person put Super Mario Bros. 35 on their top 10 list. And this game is a limited time game, meaning that it's only going to exist until the end of March, which I'm really hoping, Nintendo, that you keep this game around, because I think it'd be kind of foolish to not leave this game up. But anyway, it takes a iconic video game in Super Mario Bros. And turns it into something that I never thought possible, a battle royale game. It's simple. You play levels of Super Mario Bros. Against 34 other opponents. And it's such an addicting game. And just seeing the gameplay here, I mean, getting enemies thrown your way, having enemies show up like Bowser when they really shouldn't be there. It almost reminds me of playing Super Mario Maker in a way. But if you have a Nintendo Switch, this game is free. So it literally is no cost to you. Go pick it up right now. Even if you've never played a Mario Bros. Game before, I highly recommend that you play Super Mario Bros. 35. You're going to be in for a treat. Number 5, Final Fantasy VII Remake. When it comes to RPGs, one of the most iconic role-playing games to have ever been released is easily Final Fantasy VII. And so many of us have been waiting, painstakingly waiting, for several years for the remake of Final Fantasy to finally be released. And this year, we finally got the game. And man, oh man, I had so many mixed emotions about this game, of all games being remade, especially with how long this development was taking. But in the end, the payoff was absolutely worth every hour I spent playing this game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, it does do a great job of telling the story a little bit differently. There are a lot of things that are changed, or some things have been moved around, but in the end, the story is very much the same. And it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous version of such an iconic and just, oh man, it's such a beautiful, beautiful game. I can't get enough of it. Not only that, but once again, we've been talking about soundtracks in this top 10 list. Here is yet, once again, another example of a remarkable video game soundtrack, and quite honestly, probably my favorite video game soundtrack of all time in Final Fantasy VII. Now, what I'm really curious about is, since this is not the entire game, and it does have a little bit of an odd ending that a lot of people didn't agree with, but I'm not going to spoil that here, because if you have not played this yet, you need to do yourself a favor and go pick it up right now, especially if you really enjoyed the original. But I'm very curious to see, are they going to call it Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2? Is Part 2, now that the PlayStation 5 is out, is Part 2 going to be considered a PlayStation 5 game and not come out on PS4? Who knows at this point? But regardless of whether or not if you own a PS4, PS4 Pro, or even a PS5, this game runs smoothly and plays so incredibly well. And you just get to know these characters, and you get to come back to such great characters. And the way this game plays was even redesigned too as well. There's no more turn-based combat. You freely control the actions of your characters, much like you did in the last Final Fantasy game that came out. And all in all, this is such a great experience. And really, if you own a PlayStation 4 or a PS5 or a PS4 Pro, you're really cheating yourself by not picking this game up and giving it a playthrough, especially if you've never played these games. I mean, they're very well worth a playthrough. Go pick it up right now. It is one of the best, if not one of the, well, probably the best role-playing game to come out in 2020, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 4, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Out of all the game series that I've ever played, Yakuza has always been up there with the amount of fun and just insane craziness and silliness that can be in a game, while also having some really good and serious story. Once again, Yakuza Like a Dragon is absolutely no surprise here. This is absolutely my favorite role-playing game of 2020. As much praise as I've given Final Fantasy VII Remake, this game, though, is definitely my role-playing game of the year. And what's insane is that they took what used to be a beat-em-up type game, type RPG, and they transformed it into a turn-based RPG, which I remember before I played this, I was a little suspicious about that, whether or not I liked that or not. But you know what? It does a great job of being a turn-based RPG.
You sure know how to make an entry.
Yes, there's just as much craziness in this game as there are in the previous 6 entries. That's right, 6 of the Yakuza series. I mean, you've got, like you see here, grown men in diapers. Yakuza in diapers. It's just insanity, but it's a ton of fun, tons of craziness, lots of really great mini games. You can go into an arcade and play games like Super Hang-On.
I'm sure all of us here are a little
just
crazy.
So much fun. Go pick this up, even if you've never played Yakuza games before. You don't want to play the 6 to enjoy this game. Go check it out. It's gonna leave you with so many questions. Number 3, Hades. Hades is absolutely one of my favorite games from 2020, and there's definitely a multitude of reasons why. I will say, though, that I didn't give this game as much attention as I should. And after this video comes out, I'm going to go back and get more into it, because I haven't even finished my first run yet. I haven't finished the game yet. But Hades is a game made by Supergiant Games. They're known for making some great titles, such as Bastion, Transistor, and yet here is another fantastic game that was up for Game of the Year and is at the top of almost everybody's top 10 list, whether it's number 1 or number 2 or what have you, top 3. And it's crazy because this is an indie game. This isn't some major AAA studio that made this game. This is an indie game developer, and I love it when indie games get that much praise and attention. Basically, you play as Hades, going through layers of hell, trying to get to Mount Olympus, and you have the Olympians trying to help you by giving you these awesome items called boons, that help level up your character throughout the course of the game. It is a roguelike game, so every time you die, you can level your character up and try it again. You will be dying a lot. A lot. So just get used to it. Don't think you're going to go into this game beating it on your very first try. There's so much dialogue in this game, and what I love also about this game is the music that goes right along with the levels. In fact, even the music itself kind of goes with the enemies as they spawn in, and the beats change from time to time as you're in each level of hell. It is just so awesome, and the grind in this game is real. Good news is there is a God mode that you can turn on, and it'll gradually make your character stronger even if you die. But for those of you that want to play a more hardcore version of the game, you turn that off and you will grind and grind and grind. And from what I've heard, getting that first run completion just feels so good. So I really need to beat this game. But if you're looking for a great game to play on your Switch, you can even play this on Steam. It was in early access, but this is a game you'll want to play via portable mode on your Nintendo Switch. And it definitely is that it comes at a great price of typically $19.99. But go pick this up today. The art is great, the music is great, and the gameplay is astounding. Hades is absolutely worth your time and money. Number 2, Immortals: Phoenix Rising. It's time to talk about a game that has not really been on anybody's list that I've seen because it came out so late in the year. This game came out in November, and I'm talking about none other than Immortals: Phoenix Rising. And man, oh man, this scratches that Breath of the Wild itch completely. Now, we haven't got any information about Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, and the only other Zelda game that came out was Age of Calamity, and that's just for those who really like that Dynasty Warrior style gameplay. However, if you are looking for a game that is almost exactly like Breath of the Wild, with stamina and different temples to conquer and things like that, then lo and behold, please do yourself a favor and right now run to your nearest game store and grab a copy of this game. It's like playing God of War, Assassin's Creed, and Breath of the Wild all in one. And if you happen to like any one of those 3 games, go get this. You are cheating yourself out of a phenomenal story where you play as title character Phoenix, who is trying to reunite the gods against a overall threat. And the threat is kind of like Ganon in a way. Everything does feel like Breath of the Wild. You do have stamina that you'll lose when climbing and things like that. There isn't too much in the sense of crafting weapons and armor like there is in Breath of the Wild, but you will be collecting resources to level up things like potions and etc. So there's that. But if you are a completionist and you're looking to scratch that Zelda Breath of the Wild itch, by all means, Immortals: Phoenix Rising is the game for you. And this is bar none my number 2 game of 2020. It's such a fun game to play. The boss battles are exciting. The story is just one that will grab you and won't let go. You'll want to spend hundreds of hours trying to go through every single area in the game. And man, Ubisoft, you did a great job. You did a fantastic job putting a very well together game that really didn't have a lot of bugs. And I just wish, I wish more people were talking about this game. I'm sorry, it came out in December, and I wish more people were talking about this game. But go grab it. It's amazing, and will hold you over until Breath of the Wild 2 releases, hopefully in 2021. Number 1, Ghosts of Tsushima. Last but certainly not least, it is time to talk about my number 1 game of 2020, and most definitely my game of the year, the phenomenally, stunningly beautiful game by Sucker Punch, Ghost of Tsushima. This is a game that takes place in feudal Japan, where you are essentially the last samurai, and you are trying to fight for your country. And lo and behold, in order to do that, you're going to have to break your samurai code by doing things that a samurai wouldn't do, such as assassinating people everywhere. The game is so beautiful. Man, it's such a breathtaking experience when you first boot this game up and you see these beautiful beautiful environments that Sucker Punch laid out for everyone. The gameplay is amazing. The sword combat is just right on point, especially giving you the ability to essentially one hit kill your enemies by calling them out, challenging them to a duel. You can see here, look at the clouds. I mean, everything about this game, from capturing how the wind hits the trees and the grass, and even your armor pieces on your character. This is such a gorgeous game. And once again, if you have a PS4, if you have a PS4 Pro or a PS5, you have to play this game. This is essentially Assassin's Creed Feudal Japan, which that's a time in history that I've always wanted to play in Assassin's Creed that they, for some reason or another, haven't done yet. But you know what? That's okay, because we got it here, and Sucker Punch has blessed us all who've been waiting for years for a samurai Assassin's Creed. Well, we got it here in the form of Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, look at the way the environment and the wildlife just move out of your way. You know, even on a horseback. I mean, it just does everything right, and this story is so captivating. And you're going to want to spend hours upon hours trying to get more armor and new swords and customization options for your character. They even added Legends mode this year, a few months back, which introduces multiplayer, and you can do raids with your friends, and there's different classes for your characters to go on raids, and there's even a co-op story that is separate from the main story as shown here that you can do with a friend or two or three or four. But all in all, Sucker Punch did a phenomenal job making, in my opinion, the #1 game of 2020. And this is a game that I still have things to do, and I still need to finish certain quests and take on some challenges. I mean, once again, if you're a completionist, this is a game you are going to not want to put down, because there's just so much to do, and the lands in Japan here are just so huge, and it's such an incredibly fun game and an experience unlike any other. You know, there really isn't a lot of these type of games out. I mean, there was Sekiro that came out a couple years ago, but that's more of a Dark Souls type game. This here is not that, so you don't have to feel the pressure of dying a lot. There is, I feel like, in my opinion, the swordplay is far superior in this than it was in Sekiro. But, man, they've really raised the bar for these type of games. And hats off to you, Sucker Punch. And that's it. Those are my top 10 games of 2020. There were so many great games to be played this year. I mean, there's even more games than that I experienced this year. But these, to me, are the games that 2020, in my opinion, will be known for, that I thoroughly enjoyed, and many of which I'm going to hopefully enjoy for years to come as well. Once again, let me know in the comment section below what some of your top favorite games were of this year. It doesn't have to be 10. Give me 15, give me 20, whatever. Let me know what those are in the comments below. Do you disagree with my list? Do you agree with my list? Is there some games missing from my top 10 that you feel like should be in my top 10, or even in your top 10? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more great content, please hit that subscribe button. It really, really, really means a lot to us, as we are making our way towards 200 subscribers. And hopefully, like I said, this time next year we'll be at 1,000 subs. That's the big goal. And if you know of any other content, let me know. Also, we have a Discord now, and I will leave that link in the description below. So please join me on Discord. I'm always in there. I always have it on my phone, so you can talk to me there. We can talk all about gaming, whether it's video games or board games, card games, whatever games you went and picked up this week or picked up throughout the course of the day. Let me know, and hell, even let me know what games you would like to see Raven and I play on this channel, because we are doing a series of kind of board game type reviews. So if you know of any games you'd like to see us play on this channel and review, hit me with those below. I hope to see you guys on the Discord. Until next time, I hope everybody has a Happy New Year. See you later, guys.